I'm Bailey Aulenbach, owner of Midnight Mama Sleep Consulting. Today, I'm going to chat with you about when to move your baby into their own room. This is a tricky thing because it's a personal decision and one that can vary from family to family. The American Academy of Pediatrics, or the AAP, recommend that you actually keep your baby in your room with you until they're 12 months old. What this does is it reduces the risk of SIDS because you're able to have a close eye on them while you sleep. So if we're just looking for a textbook answer, that's when you move your baby over to their own room when they're 1. But if you are feeling like you're sensitive to your baby sleeping, or they are keeping you up because babies are really noisy sleepers, then you can consider moving them to their room sooner. So personally, I moved my own children into their nursery within the first few months because newborns spend 50% of their sleep time in REM. And REM sleep is rapid eye movement, so it's quite active sleep. They can let out little grunts and groans, sometimes cries, they're wiggling around, and all of these things for a new mom are really disturbing. My husband, he slept great the whole time. Me, not so much. So when I was hearing my baby wiggle around or even sneeze or let out any sound, I was kind of jumping up and feeding them all the time, which led to me being so exhausted in the morning because I had gotten up 5 or 6, sometimes 8 times throughout the night. And I know this is common for lots of newborn parents. So the answer, when can you move your baby to their own room, is an answer that will be personal. So whenever you feel comfortable with them sleeping in their own room. One thing I want you to know is if your baby's sleeping in your room, you have to be respectful of their sleep environment. So likely they're going to bed much before you are. So once you go into the room, you're not turning the light on, you're not turning off their noise machine, you're not making any noise, you're not watching TV in bed or playing on your computer or anything like that in the room, because that will be disturbing to their sleep, which will then disturb your sleep if they're up longer. So it's a commitment having a child in your room. But you can absolutely sleep train a child while they're room sharing with you. So having a baby in their own nursery is not a direct component or requirement for sleep training to happen. So I want you to know that the two things are not exclusive. They can coexist. So once you have the nursery set up, once you have a plan of what you want to do, I always recommend moving the baby to their nursery for bedtime. So it's always important to make big changes to a child's sleep environment or a child's sleep habits at bedtime. The reason this is because throughout the day, they build something called sleep pressure. Sleep pressure is the biological need to sleep. So sleep pressure is highest at the end of the day after having periods of awake time. They're getting tired enough to be able to sleep longer stretches at night, which will in turn lead to a full overnight stretch in time. So we never want to make big changes at nap time because it's common to protest for the entire nap and then you won't even get a nap at all. Whereas if there is some protest met at bedtime, there's no way they can protest all night long. They will simply have to sleep because their sleep drive or their sleep pressure is high enough. So once you do make this change and you feel confident in it, I recommend moving them at nighttime. A few things to help with the transition would be to have a video monitor that has sound so that when you are in your room, you can still have an eye on your baby and you feel confident that you can hear when they wake up. Another thing that could be useful is using the Owlet sock, which is a sock that monitors breathing and heart rate. So if anything happens to your baby while they're sleeping, then you'll get an alarm on your phone or your device letting you know you need to go check on your baby right now. So that's also a really good SIDS prevention tool. So if you feel like moving your baby out of your room sooner, I would recommend something like that so you are confident with your sleeper that they are okay doing it on their own in their nursery. It's always good to have a plan. So it's good to have the nursery set up and have some sort of plan on when you want to move your child over rather than just doing it on a whim. And nurseries don't have to be complex. They can be very basic, and all your child needs is a safe sleep space. They'll need a sound machine, and they'll need a blackout environment. So as long as you have those three things, so a crib or a pack and play, a bassinet, blackout blinds or curtains, or a blackout solution of some sort, and then a sound machine, you are ready to rock and roll. I hope you learned something today. I could not tolerate sleeping with my children in my room for very long because I was sleeping so light and poorly when they were there that I was able to finally almost breathe once they left the room. And I was sure to turn the volume up all the way on my monitor so I didn't miss anything when they did wake up. And having their sleep environment separate from mine made it so I could relax in mine. So if you feel more comfortable with your baby in your room, that is absolutely okay. Keep them in there as long as you want, but know that there is no right or wrong answer when it comes to moving your baby to their own nursery. It's simply a matter of personal preference. So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notifications when new videos get posted. See you next week.